Thanks so much for joining us today for the launch of our third report into wage theft. This report marks a significant milestone in our battle to end wage theft across Australian universities. The report is a damning indictment of universities' business model, which is baked in casualisation and as a result of that has baked in wage theft. We are looking at the potential of $380 million being stolen from our most vulnerable workers. $380 million at public institutions. I think this is an absolutely damning indictment of business practices across Australian universities. We've got over $200 million in confirmed cases, 168 that universities have written into their annual reports that they have put aside to pay workers. So that's why today we are calling for an urgent parliamentary inquiry into wage theft across the university sector. Wage theft needs to stop, and it needs to stop now.
Hey, I'm Sally McManus. I'm the Secretary of the ACTU. Unions support an inquiry into wage theft in the university sector. It's absolutely disgusting that the biggest wage thieves in the country happen to be our universities, who are publicly funded, but at the same time, they are actually big businesses. It's one of our biggest export industries now, education, and university vice-chancellors are paid in excess of $1 million to be the CEOs of universities, and what they're doing is overseeing the breaking of the law. And that should be unacceptable to all of us, obviously those workers who have been affected, but as a country, how can we have a situation where well-funded, well-resourced, well-paid universities are engaging in unlawful practices and ripping off Australian workers? It's gone on for far too long, and it's actually so bad that these universities have got line items in their annual reports that and in their budgets to put aside money to pay for the wage thieving that they have been doing. So this has to stop, and these universities need to be accountable, and there is no excuses. They're not small businesses. They don't have complicated systems to go through. They've got agreements that they negotiated and mainly they wrote that govern what workers should be paid. They well know more than anyone exactly what they're meant to pay people. They've just engaged in practices that have meant they've exploited people, they've ripped them off, they've not paid them for the hours that they've worked. And this has got to be brought to an end, and we need to shine a light on this, and those vice-chancellors need to be held accountable.
In Victoria, we have over $100 million being owed to casual employees, and that's wage theft that's been going on in universities since 2018, so more than 6 years of wage theft and casual employee wages being stolen by universities. However, the way in which this has come about, and those underpayments of over $100 million being paid to Victorian workers, is through the efforts of the National Tertiary Education Union and the Fair Work Ombudsman to both take individual and collective pay disputes to the Fair Work Commission and the courts. And that kind of activity has been a long time and a long amount of work by both of those organisations to make universities understand and see how much that they need to pay casual workers for their entitlements. Now, the union and the Fair Work Ombudsman should not have to do that work. And it's about time that a parliamentary inquiry was called to investigate these matters and make sure that casuals are paid the correct wages. So these are the reasons why we're calling for a parliamentary inquiry. That this sort of stuff is rotten to the core. University governance. Most Australian people would think that university governance and this kind of thing is rotten to the core, and they would be right. That's why we're calling for a parliamentary inquiry.